Welcome to shorts and hoodies. There we go. I'm wearing shorts and hoodies. I blanked for a quick second. I blanked. Welcome to Shorts and Hoodies, where my name is Jared and the Flock.
You have another
What's up?
podcast? You have anotother podcast you were getting confused with besides your own?
I've got three, okay? I've got like three.
Cheating on
So. Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm cheating on us. That is Stephanie. No, that is not Stephanie.
Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie's replacement for right now.
Oh, my goodness. Well, welcome, Tiffany, to Shorts and Hoodies, where I am Jared and the Flock. This is...
I'm Mr. Dash. What's going on, guys? How's my volume here?
I'm
You
Tiff.
sound great.
Yeah, y'all sound really crisp, and I sound like I'm muffled. I'm sitting here. Oh, I think that's better there.
No, I can't tell any different. And we actually have somebody visiting us, Helios, right there, my little son boy, decided to join us because today we're doing something that I absolutely love, which is to deal with entertainment and video games. Because the Grammys were switched, right? Was that Dash, or the Grammys were?
Yeah, originally the Grammys were supposed to be this weekend, so we were slated to do a music, movies, and TV show episode, but the Grammys got pushed back, and so I like to kind of keep things together. So since the whole Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard thing went down this week, and I figure, you know what, this is a good replacement. I've been wanting to do this episode for a while. So we are doing top 10 video games, movies, and TV shows.
I am thoroughly curious. How old are all of your guys' stuff?
I have one on here that I forgot to put what year it was, but I want to say it was like 85.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Maybe the oldest one on here for me.
Okay.
And it's a deep cut too. So.
It's a deep cut. All right.
Yeah.
I actually don't go any further back than 1993, believe it or not. Oh, and there's Mr. Blue Nibbles III. Look at that. Got the flock with us today. Yeah. Tiff, what about you? Where are you at?
I am. Wait. Like, as in place, or like where am I at the years?
The years. Like, did you go old school with it?
Not really. Like, I kept it in the 90s, and then I moved it up to like where a lot of remasters were done. I didn't go deep diving into years, more like just making sure that if I loved it enough, I gave a quick synopsis with it.
Perfect. Well, kicking off quick synopsises, I was just kind of curious where everybody was, because all I saw were a lot of the old school stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can get it right here. Dash.
Actually,
you're number one. What's up?
Yeah. You know, I was gonna say I think I might be older than that.
Really?
83, 85, I think is my oldest one.
Oh my gosh.
So
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I'm a little bit older. By the way, I wore my Xbox shirt for you.
Thank you, sir.
I did laundry this week, so I was like, I gotta pull out the Xbox shirt, represent the green brand. I'm gonna kick us off here with my number 10. This is one of my absolute favorite franchises. This is let me get my notes out here. This is Juni and Carmen, where they get to face off against the Toy Master, played by none other than Sylvester Stallone. This is Spy Kids 3 Game Over. This was... I'm a huge Antonio Banderas fan, and I love kids movies, and more than that, I like what's his name? I say I like, and I forget his name. Robert Rodriguez. What he did with the franchise is just so much fun. And then you have people like Danny Trejo and Cheech Marin too coming.
Oh, Danny Trejo, beautiful.
Yeah. It's just a great movie.
Wait. So Spy Kids was a video game before it was a movie?
No. This is a movie that is centered around a video game.
Okay.
So in this movie, Sylvester Stallone, I keep wanting to call him Sly Stallone.
Just call him Sly.
He plays the toy maker, and he has created this virtual online video game that kids rush out. It is the biggest game of the year, but unbeknownst to these children and their parents, it brainwashes them. So Juni and Carmen have to go into the game and beat the game in order to beat the toy maker. Elijah Wood is in this movie. He plays, I think he plays the guy. That was his name. Ricardo Montalban was in this. So again, Sylvester Stallone, Antonio Banderas, Cheech Marin, Danny Trejo. It's such an eclectic cast when you have somebody like Robert Rodriguez, who's done all that he has, that he could just go, I want this person, and they all are like, yes, I'll do this, especially for a kids movie. So yeah,
Okay.
that is my number 10, Spy Kids 3, Game Over. So
Nice.
now we are going to move. I'm going to see if I can do this right. So if I wanted to point that way, I can't. I got to point it up to Tiff. Tiff, what is your number 10?
Yeah. Okay. So my number 10 has to be Tomb Raider, right? I mean, first off, we have to like just hit the big point. I did not deep dive like you guys. Unfortunately, I wish I could do more. But what I did do is I did see the old game back. It was made back in 1997. I mean, first off, who did not have a crush on Angelina Jolie, right? She was, right, the hottest thing on the block. And of course, it follows that independent woman, which we love through the video game. Since it did come back out in 1997, we remember those times they were like just blocks, like kind of terrible, sketchy glitches. It has been remastered. I believe they have up to 10 games now from what the last I was seeing, and they're still making Tomb Raider movies, and I had no idea about that. I will only watch it with Angelina Jolie. You cannot turn me another way.
Whoa.
Don't come at me like this.
Don't sleep on the new one with Alicia Vikander. I mean, there's only been one. I think they're in pre-production for the sequel.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
It's so much like the video game.
Is it really?
Yeah, I would say it's more like the video game than the Angelina Jolie's one.
Anyway, because when she came out, when the new one came out, I can tell you right now, Tiff, 100%. They almost draw so much from the source material. It's like you're watching them. It draws so much from the source material.
And you have a character. I was reading about it because I heard like Angelina Jolie's movies versus like the game, they were like not similar because they're just showing how independent she is. One comment that I did love when I was watching like a little review on it, like doing a really good comparison, was that how she was like a billionaire, and her thesis was that she was so rich basically that she just left her door unlocked so anybody could enter just so she can kill them for fun because she didn't need security. And that one really had me cracking up. So I love Tomb Raider, but it has to be number 10 just because I really didn't deep dive into the video game too much, unfortunately, but I did love seeing the playthroughs.
Nice. Now, I went a little Marky Mark here. I know, Dash, you're a big fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, and I was gonna have him on my list, but Marky Mark kind of took the spot with his Bullet Time. A man who's in Pain, 2008's Max Payne. I remember playing through this game as a child and loving the slow motion, taking the pain pills to kind of feel a little bit better. And the story kind of got a little weird towards the end there with Max Payne 3 and everything else like that. But I mean, it's Marky Mark being, Marky Mark. Like it's almost a draw for draw actual like part of like I think a buddy of mine who I was talking to about it earlier literally says that like 90% of the material was used in the game or in the movie. Like it was pretty much a straight draw. And fun fact, I did throw it in here because of this. Believe it or not, it did have an end credit scene, but because the movie was hated so much, Fox nixed it real quick.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, up to that time that Max Payne came out, Max Payne was like the closest in like original content, from what it was drawn from. Like even in the case of like, comics and movies and video games and movies. Yeah, it was the closest. But it was time and all that stuff was great.
I did see one person who was a little upset spaghetti because it didn't have enough bullet time in the movie. And I'm like, it's an hour and a half movie, if I remember correctly. Like you can't have every shoot 'em up be that slow-mo Matrix. It just kind of ruins it. It's got to be for those special moments,
I agree with that.
So, well, Dash, let's jump up to you, Sir. What's your number 9?
This is a deep cut for me. I am super excited about this one. And so before I even say what the show is, I'm just going to go on who the guest stars were on this show. Okay. Some of these you won't know, Jared, because we know how you are with actors.
I know.
We'll start off with magician Harry Blackstone, Patrick Dempsey from Grey's Anatomy. There was a breakdancer at the time named Shabadoo. If you ever seen the movie Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, he played Ozone. Elvira. Nicole Eggert, she was in Charles in Charge and Baywatch. Ernie Hudson from The Crow and Ghostbusters. Cyndi Lauper. Danica McKellar. She played Winnie on The Wonder Years, and she was also in the Pineapple episode of How I Met Your Mother. Sergeant Slaughter. Daughter of Frank Zappa, Moon Zappa, was on this show. And the just amazing Roddy Piper was on the show as a guest star. These are just some of the guest stars that were on this show. This show was hosted by Danny Wells and the Captain, Lou Albano, from WWF fame. This was a kids show that was hosted by them, and they dressed up as two iconic characters, Mario and Luigi. This is the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. This was like my go-to when I would get out of school, because I'm going to date myself here. When I would get out of school and I would come home and the Super Mario Brothers Super Show was on, and it was a cartoon about the Mario Brothers, but then they would cut in every once in a while too, and there would be like a Sonic cartoon. This was like the original cartoons for them. And it was such a fun show. I mean, this is during the times, I don't want to give away maybe any other picks or anything like that some of us may have, but this was, I want to say this was around the time of like Carmen Sandiego.
Okay.
So it was such a fun show. Again, I highly doubt that y'all have seen it. No?
Nope. Don't even know anything about it.
It was such like
Sadly.
It had a theme song that Lou Albano like sang and like danced and everything, and it was just so funny. It was just so funny, yeah. Yeah, that's my number 9, Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Tiff, take us to your number 9.
Well, I'm just in shock that Elvira came out in a kids show still. So, oh yeah. So I will start off with I'm pretty sure this was everybody's crush at one point. Ryan Reynolds, I do love that man and just about everything he plays in, to be honest. Him getting to be a small little character, that zaps people, kind of one of my favorite things. So, yeah, I definitely have Pokemon as my number 9. So, to be honest, I do not relate too much to Pikachu unless I am in an angry mood. I really believe I side more with Psyduck. He feels like he's very relatable to me. So I get it, buddy. But yeah, I've seen this movie a few times now, and it's always kind of like really heartwarming. And of course, I did grow up playing with Pokemon cards, though I don't remember much of, the whole ordeal about it anymore. But I remember doing that big old trading thing, and I've raked in quite a bit of money, if I don't, not to try to brag. But yeah. Pokemon battles and then capturing them, and then really teaches you a lot about the creatures and better helps you. And then, of course, when you watch the movies and the TV shows, it kind of is a lot. I know that the detective is very different than the video game, so they're not completely the same. I grew up watching the movies. I just don't relate to them so much as I do now, just because they came out with the new Pokemon movies, and I've gotten more into that compared to the game. But I do love Ash. Misty was my favorite character, just because she was, I believe everybody had a crush on her as a cartoon too. But that has to be my number 9, just because it's so cute and subtle, but at the same time, it has like, I don't know, over 20 games, I believe now.
Yeah, there's just so many games that are out there that Detective Pikachu is. It's ridiculous. I mean, I liked the storyline. I thought the ending was cute. Dash, did you not see this or?
No, I did. So what I was gonna say is I'm not a Pokemon person.
Really?
I didn't grow up with the cards. I didn't grow up watching the shows or anything like that. But I did see the movie Detective Pikachu, and I thought it was so much fun. I mean, it's Ryan Reynolds doing the voice. I mean, it's just great. I mean, he's at the peak of his career right now.
Yeah,
I've been a fan of Ryan Reynolds since Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. So if I can throw that one back there. But no, it was so much fun, and I think because of another movie that is probably on somebody's list in here, they were able to make the Pokemon look good and not look weird like it could have gone. But gladly the world said, nay, change the way things look, and they did for another movie, and that in turn fixed things for Detective Pikachu.
I thought you were going
Perfect.
somewhere else with that because
I
we
don't
all
wanna give away
know.
somebody's. I don't want to give away somebody's pick because we know it's going to be on the list.
Well, do we now?
Oh, I have a
Sir?
feeling it is.
Oh, okay.
Not on my
All right.
list, but I'm saying I'm sure it's on somebody's.
I see. I thought Jared, like, I know you kind of like cracked Pokemon the other day, right?
Mhm.
I was like, I'm gonna put this on my list, and mine is gonna be nothing compared to yours because like you're the crack code, and I'm like, I just love the movie, and like I played the game as a kid.
Well, a lot of what the level up is just silly little memes that I see online, and I'm like, I gotta find some like with the bikini one, like that was just Niantic being cheeky and somebody who was being perverted online. I was like, I gotta figure out what the devil this is, and then I was just like, how, and it just kind of went down like this little rabbit hole where I was like, I have 5 more questions now that I have to ask, so I got you. But now, Dash, this is the one list. I mean, I wish I could throw Zootopia on here, but I technically can't because there's no way to technically relate it to a video game.
Not, yeah. I mean,
Yet.
granted, there has been a Zootopia game and everything, but as the rules state, this has to be something that came out after the video game. The video game had to have come first, or at least the lore behind it and everything. So
I mean, technically the streak isn't broken, but if you want to talk about streaks, Hitman 47, Agent 47, I should say, with Timothy Oliphant. Is that how you say his name? Oliphant?
okay, so well, the one with Timothy, I always call him Ophalant. Because
Awful.
it's just that's just it's not the way you say it. That's just a weird way to say elephant. I think it's Oliphant.
Oliphant.
The one that he was in was just Hitman. The sequel to that was Agent 47.
Oh, okay. Well, just Hitman in general, I should say.
Okay.
Just Hitman in general.
I thought they were both great.
Yeah, they were both great. I mean, you want to take somebody who typically is a good-looking guy with good-looking hair, and then you bick his dome, you get him clean shaven, and you're just like, all right, you're gonna play a stone cold killer, no emotions, nails it, absolutely nails it. I mean, that scene when he's in the room with the dude trying to play hardcore with his sniper rifle in the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah.
Like that brings back memories of Rorschach. You're not locked in here with me. I'm locked, or what is it? I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked here. Yeah, that one. It just just everything about that game was so much fun, and that movie was just it's like you're watching the movie in real, or you're watching the game in real life again, and that's what I liked about it.
Duke can rock a black suit and a red power tie.
I know, right?
He was so good. I like him. I mean, because Hitman is not. I want to say he's a hero. He's not a villain. He's like kind of an anti-hero, kind of like in the ways of like Punisher or maybe Venom in some ways. But it's like I loved him in, and I know I'll get heat on this, but Live Free or Die Hard, when he was the bad guy, I loved him as the bad guy. He plays such a smart character, and yeah. Agent 47 has to be that way.
Shooting on to the next target. Dash, what's your number 8?
This is my first one from Mr. Paul W.S. Anderson here. First of a couple. This is something that maybe the world could understand. This is about a deadly virus that is exposed to the world. And this Umbrella Academy. I knew I was going to do that.
You were going to bring it up.
Academy. This umbrella company or corporation has to seal off the city, and hilarity ensues. Demon dogs and all that jazz. This movie has spawned 5 freaking sequels. I didn't even realize it was 5. This is Mila Jovovich, directed by her husband. This is Resident Evil. I remember the first time I saw this, and it freaked me the F out. Like, especially the scene when they go down like the glass hallway.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Like, I'm getting chills right now. Like, I remember just being on the edge of my seat, like, oh, they're all gonna die. They're gonna die. And yeah, this movie freaked me out. Now, I remember seeing the sequel to it, and I was just like, okay. But the first one, at least, the first one was so good. Again, another movie that is very loosely kind of based on Alice in Wonderland.
An Alice in Wonderland?
Yes, sir.
How?
This is, well, one, her name is Alice, but two, the whole like apocalypse thing is a parallel to like the Jabberwocky. Yeah, there's it's a loose it's not I want to say it's a direct translation of Alice in Wonderland, but this is a story that was inspired by, if you will, Alice in Wonderland. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm pretty sure Resident Evil was based off the Resident Evil video games. Where
No. It
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
like the game itself or whatever, there are parallels between the Alice in Wonderland story with this. So
That's
it's always
fair.
one of my favorite things. Tiff, if you don't know, Alice in Wonderland is like my favorite story.
Okay, Jared, Zootopia. Here's Alice in Wonderland. I got it.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to say, and I wish there was, because I wish the sequels would have been better. They would have added more to it, or I wish this movie would have been a standalone film.
Mhm.
What?
So no, did you see the sequels and stuff?
I yes. Okay,
Yeah.
first off, one of my favorites. It
Okay.
it is on my list.
Okay.
We'll get to that one. It's just one of my favorites. I think they were called for, maybe not, intentionally, but definitely for my needs.
Okay. Well,
So I loved it.
As long as somebody likes them, that's all that matters.
But
All right, Tiff, go ahead and take us to your number 8.
yeah, so definitely. Oh man, I really remember playing this in McDonald's, right? So I don't know if y'all ever played in the playgrounds of McDonald's when your parents would, take you, and then there was like a little video game section. It had like 1 or 2 games that you could play by yourself. I would go and play this, and while my brothers played, I did watch the trailer to the second movie the other day when I went to go see Spider-Man, and that was so cool. I didn't realize it was going to be so good, and it actually made me watch the first one because I didn't. So yes, this is going to be Sonic. Definitely a movie that I can get behind. I used to play it when I was a kid, and then of course seeing Tails coming in the second movie, I'm super excited. And then the fact that Jim Carrey is playing Eggman, Eggman or Egghead, right?
Eggman.
Thank you. Okay, I did say it right. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize. It made me so excited. I watched the whole thing. I think I stayed up to 1 a.m. actually watching it. So normally I'm in bed by 9 o'clock. No, that one had me like, I was like, no, I'm going to watch it tonight so that whenever it comes out, we can like see it immediately.
Yeah, that Jim Carrey, just he's the perfect pick for Eggman. I mean, I like the kind of quick banter with Sonic. That cast actually felt like it was a very genuine way to bring Sonic into the real world. It was nice.
Yeah. I had I was telling my husband, I was like, he's kind of like a more kid friendly version of Deadpool, to be honest. Like his sarcasm, I really wasn't expecting it. So whenever it was coming out, I was like, oh, I like it. It's snarky.
Yeah, it was nice. Well, I know my number 8 has actually already been mentioned. I have a feeling that a lot of this is actually going to happen, believe it or not, just because of the small pool that there was. It was just the Tomb Raider series. It just Tomb Raider in general. I did prefer the 2018 version because it was more closely related to the game itself. I don't know what in the devil was going on with Angelina Jolie's figure back then. I heard so many different rumors about her costume and how it was set up, and it just, I mean, as a male audience to the movie, I can say yes, maybe, please, but I don't know. I like when you take a video game and the source material and you mesh everything together and it's nice and coherent. So
I don't know.
No, I can understand that.
I'm on the. I mean, if we have to go, I mean, Angelina Jolie, gorgeous.
Mhm.
But I'm not gonna sit up here and go, and let's just list off all the things about Angelina Jolie. But I'm just saying, her and Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh, I love Alicia Vikander's outfit though, and it was not near as revealing as what Angelina Jolie's characters was in the first 2 movies. I don't know. I'm one of those like leave a little to the imagination is much more sexier, in my opinion. But I think Anyways, I'll stop talking. I just love Alicia Vikander, so I just think she's gorgeous.
Well, no, you got to keep talking because you're up to number 7, big guy. So
number 7. Okay. I apologize right now for all the people out there who love this book. I didn't read the book. Leave me your hate mail. I saw the movie and I loved it. Let's just talk about the references alone. Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Chucky, RoboCop, Star Trek, Ghostbusters, Akira, Alien, Spaceballs, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Bill and Ted, Star Wars, Smokey and the Bandit, Gremlins, Mad Max, and the Iron Freaking Giant. This is set in the year 2045. James Holliday created a virtual online world known as the Oasis. This is Ready Player One. I love this movie so much. I did not read the book. Again, for people who watch the show or listen to the show, you know how I feel about books. If they made a movie version of it, I can watch that book in 2.5 hours.
You want to talk about a video game personified in a movie? Ready Player One. That is 100%.
I love this movie so much. I have coasters with Parsifal on it. And I just love this movie so much. And I know, again, I know the book is probably better than the movie. Sorry, Mom. It's a great movie. It's such a fun movie. It's so much fun. And as somebody who grew up in the 80s, this is such an 80s like just filled movie. I mean, Spielberg. I mean, it's what he did. He is, you know, the composer and author of my 80s cinema childhood. So that is my number 7, a Ready Player One.
I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a game or a book, to be fair. I would have read the book.
Well, I mean, it was a book, but it is based around a video game. So that's how it makes my list on a technicality. All right, Tiff, what is your number 7?
Yes. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, I almost gave you the wrong one. All right. So my number 7, definitely something I think we all may have watched if we all like kind of like the gory monster space kind of thing. So it was a first-person game. I do terrible with shooting games, so I did not play this one, but I did watch the playthrough, I promise. It has been remastered, and I heard it's way better remastered. It's called Doom Eternal. Have y'all heard of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Played it
perfect.
quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a little, it was too gore. It was just gore to be gore for me, but that's just a complaint I have with some things. If it's like too, like Sex in the City, if it's too much Sex in the City, it's just like the title's just too, you know what I mean? The title's just weird.
It says it all. No, I completely get it. I can work the same way sometimes, you know that. Yeah, so Eternal, I didn't do any research on. I put it all the way back to the first game, right? Because I saw the movie first, and then I found out it was actually based off a video game, and it turns out it did pretty well. Though I heard the Eternal did way better, and the remastered is like almost perfect. It got like a B+ from like everybody, from what I was reading, which was pretty awesome to hear. Because normally you get season Fs as they go on. But yeah, I know it was like super cheesy, and this came out whenever The Rock was just The Rock and not just Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
But oh my God, like I don't think, like when you first told me about this, that was the first one that entered my head where I was like, Doom, because it was one of the movies that me and my mom would sit and watch, and she actually had it on VHS, and it was so cool, and we'd plug it in when we didn't have anything better to do. So definitely, I mean, if you haven't seen it and you want to play it, I would 100% recommend it.
It was one of those. I remember when the game came out, it was so controversial because of like, what was it, the blood and everything, right? I haven't played Doom. Again, we all know me as a PC gamer. I don't PC. I console. But I never even played it on console. But I remember it being a controversial game, and like the moms out there being like, "Don't let your kids play Doom."
It
But
wasn't
yeah,
even that bad.
This was The Rock. This was, yeah, he was still WWF. You know, I don't even think we had WWE yet.
It was Skinny Rock too. He wasn't hulked out like he was now.
He still had hair. He even,
yeah,
he could still grow it.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yep.
I thought the scene where they had to like, you know, choose between the kids, like saving or killing them, you know, that was very like, you know, I still remember that to this day where I'm like, what choice would I have made? Like growing up my whole life, I was like, what would I do? Would I save them? Would I kill them? You know, what are your decisions to make there?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take a leap of faith on this one. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this stars Michael Fassbender, who just gives you a total I don't give a as the kids put it, IDGAF attitude towards the whole lineage with the animus, with the story, the background, and everything. And then if his believable father of Brendan Gleeson kind of gives him a little bit of a tutorial, and then I love how the animus makes him the perfect assassin. This was 2016's Assassin's Creed. I mean, I've played the series. I've played the hell out of Black Flag. Black Flag was my introduction to Assassin's Creed. If there was ever an introduction to a video game, I think Black Flag was one. You get ships, you're a pirate, you get to leap off of tall buildings, you get to leap off of the top of a thing into the ocean. Like, it is just so fun and so cool. No harm, no foul to 1, 2, and 3, but they were totally very different games and totally different play styles. But yeah, just the whole Assassin's Creed was great. And then I love, like, I still to this day get chills when he does the leap of faith in the Animus and breaks the Animus. And just like Helios is breaking me right now because of his loud little chirpy chirps. That's all I really got to say about the Assassin's Creed. It was a very well done game. Instead of jumping right into it and being like, I'm an assassin. It's just like, yeah, let's go a different route. It was a nice little shortcut from the games themselves.
Yeah, I didn't see the movie. At the point when the movie came out, I wasn't a big Assassin's Creed fan. I'm still really not a big Assassin's Creed fan. But the costume itself, like the way it looked in the movie, stuff was on point. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the pointy hood. We get to see it again this year, really, with Moon Knight kind of rocking that cloak kind of feel to it. So
if you could rent it for $2.99, it's very worth the rent.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on one of these hundreds of streaming services that I have. Oh, right.
Sorry, he's getting chirpy. I'm having to mute this. Helios he's upsetty spaghetti. He's usually been asleep now for 2-3 hours. So
you're good. I apologize for my screen shaking. Baker's wide open right now, so I have my cup full of twist ties that I just keep throwing, and every time he jumps off the desk, the screen just goes. So, all right, let's get into my number 6. This is my only Disney movie on here. Not a lot of video game Disney movies here. This one comes to us from Disney Pixar, starring John C. Reilly as the voice of our character, with Sarah Silverman as well. This is Wreck-It Ralph. One of my absolute favorite Pixar movies. I love my Toy Story more than anything, but Wreck-It Ralph is so much fun. But I'm a huge John C. Reilly fan. And for me, honestly, I mean, it goes back to kind of the same things with Ready Player One. It's all the references from Q*bert to Mortal Kombat to Street Fighter to Sonic to Mario. Well, not Mario per se, but Bowser. It's just so much fun. And then even the sequel where he breaks the internet, that was fun too. But I mean, it's more internet based. So yeah, Wreck-It Ralph.
John C. Reilly is such a good voice actor in that.
And I love Sarah Silverman. I think she's amazing.
Everything John C. Reilly does is just like gold to me. But yeah, his voice is just like, I don't know. His voice is like, he talks
like it doesn't.
He talks like Seth Rogen laughs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? It sounds like his voice is covered.
It almost doesn't fit his voice.
Yeah.
Like his face doesn't. You look at, like, I remember watching Step Brothers. I'm like, he shouldn't look like that and sound like that as well too.
Yeah. All right, Tiff, take us to your number 6 here.
Yeah. All right. So don't discredit me on this one. I promise I've tried. I'm a button masher when it comes to it. Go to back before COVID got super crazy. Used to go over there and just wait around, play some video games off to the side. So I would kick some ass inside there. Didn't know what I was doing. I believe combos don't work on me. I've tried researching them and really doing them. It's not a thing. I don't know why I'm not magical, but I'm not. So this one has to be one of my favorites. I started getting really into it, and I had got it back on, I believe, Xbox 360 when Jason and Freddy had entered the game. So Mortal Kombat. I don't know if y'all have seen it recently. The new one. Oh
So,
my God.
so is your pick the new one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It definitely is. One thing I will want to say is, I just want to make sure I'm saying her name right. Melina, right?
Melina, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The graphic. So I've always loved her inside the video game because of how terrifying she looks, and of course, like I said, I'm a button masher, so it doesn't really matter to me. She's a cute little character, and she looks freaking horrifying. They
Yeah.
did an amazing job with her, like in the movie. So great. Not even just the outfit, but the teeth and the mouth alone, so realistic. It was. Oh man, just got a huge crush on her. I love her.
As soon as you said button mashing, I was like, I got the pen out. I'm gonna write it down because I'm the exact same way. I don't believe combos work. And how do you remember all those combos? Stop it.
Yes.
No,
Up,
I'm just like
up, down, up, down. No, that's
no.
not a
I'm
thing.
I'm pushing. I go back to the original Mortal Kombat when I used to work at Pizza Hut, and nobody was in the store, and I'm like, them coins in there. I'm playing Mortal Kombat.
I love Mortal Kombat. I was actually a bigger fan of Hirikyo Sanada, I think is his name, the guy who actually played Scorpion in the new one.
Oh,
I was
Yep.
kind of hoping for more of a backstory with him, believe it or not.
yeah, they
No,
based it off
I like
Colt,
what
right?
we got in the new one. I like what because we didn't really get any kind of backstory in the first one, other than meet my assassins, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. That was it.
Well, you know what, Dash? You might as well just put me down for the same thing because literally my number 6 was Mortal Kombat 2021 as well too. Yeah, Mr. Hiroku. I'm probably horribly mispronouncing his name, but like he made the movie for me. Like his mini little backstory. I wish we got to see more of him when he was in hell and like fighting off the demons and becoming Scorpion, because that was a great way how he entered, exited, and then just came back flawlessly for that flawless victory. So
Oh, I love that, man.
yeah.
I think they did a really good job with the movie to the video game wise. I think this one to me would be almost like the most accurate probably out of the full list that I have. So I think it's really exciting to hear that it was also Jared's pick. So I was not completely wrong here.
All right. Well,
Take us into the back half, Dash.
I know it's not my number 6 because I already gave that to you, but funny enough, my number 5 is Mortal Kombat. But there's a twist here. This one is from 1995. Again, I'm an old school guy. I remember seeing this working at Pizza Hut. I'm playing the game. Boom. The movie's out. I'm out here playing Mortal Kombat 3 and everything. The movie comes out. You got Christopher Lambert as Raiden. That speech that he gives on the boat, iconic. Brigitte Nielsen as Sonya Blade. Robin Shaw as Liu Kang. Fighting for the tournament of the fate of the world. Those were $500 sunglasses, you asshole. One of the best lines in cinematic history. More than anything, we got Johnny Cage in the first one. Where was Johnny Cage in this new one?
He was too busy punching people in the nuts.
Yeah, whatever. I was sitting here going, yeah. Tiff goes Mortal Kombat. I was like, oh, that's funny. And then Jared goes Mortal Kombat. I was like, shut up. My number 5, Mortal Kombat as well. So, yeah. Cherry lemon. All right, Tiff, take us to your number 5.
Yes. So this one to me is relatively new. I'm only going to be covering the first season because the second season I have not seen. I have 3 episodes left, but I do not want any spoilers. Do not do that to me. I
got a spoiler for you.
Oh no.
I got a spoiler for you. Henry Cavill's in it, right? No?
I don't know names.
Oh wow, 2 people don't know names.
First
Superman.
off, I know who the devil Henry Cavill is. If you don't know if this is Henry Cavill, I'm going to be very upset spaghetti with you, Tiff.
I will too, because I already wrote it down.
Oh no. No. Now I'm scared to talk. All right. Okay, so I don't know if I won't even continue. Okay, so this one's all going to be about magic. So I believe it did follow the storyline. The game, however, was very different. It was based off the book that was released back in 2007, and it does follow Geralt's. Around you enter the game on a mountain with no memory of who you are, and his witcher brothers take him in. While we are on a different scenario, right? Season 1 and Season 2.
Geralt.
Yes, Geralt. I said
Ger.
Geralt. Oh.
Geralt of Rivia, and it is Henry freaking Cavill. You put some respect on that man's name.
First up, I've been saying that wrong to everybody I've talked to. Nobody's corrected me. That's not my fault. Second off, my favorite characters, Yennefer. Don't dog on me when I'm after the women, man. Like, I don't know her name either, but that's so. Are we doing like a same train of like you got the Witcher now and then Dash? No, all right.
No, I have somebody completely different.
Yeah, everybody should know Dash does not have the Witcher. Dash doesn't like camping.
That sounds like a personal problem.
No, I associate like Middle Earth and dragons and elves and all that stuff. We had an episode of what was it like? We just kind of, it's all outdoorsy and everything, and yeah, I just don't like camping, I guess. And I associate all that stuff with like camping. Yeah, you had to watch the episode. Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch that episode to see why you're so weird about that. But I love it.
It was a fantasy episode, right?
Yeah, it was fantasy. It was fantasy. Yeah. At the very end. Like I think pick 7 or no, pick like 3 or something like that. We really got into why you hated it.
Yeah, that's Henry Cavill. It's the same man who played Superman in the Justice League movies. He's the man who can cock his arms like a gun in a Mission Impossible Fallout. The man with a glorious mustache.
I can't believe you didn't know that was Henry Cavill, Tiffany.
He doesn't like stick out to me where I'm like, I want to know about him. I'm like, Yennefer, come here.
You got your priorities wrong, girl. Just saying.
Okay, to be fair, I will say he has the nicest man bun I've ever seen.
That's fair.
Thank you.
That's very fair.
Thank you. I do try. All right. What do you got for, what are we on? Number 5 or 4?
Well, we're going back to 1994, ladies and gentlemen, with Scott Wolf, Mark Dacascos, who's on Master Chef or Iron Chef of all things, who decided to enter the Double Dragon. I remember one scene that made it for me. What was that? I'm sorry.
I haven't seen this movie forever.
Yeah, I just remember that one scene where they take that hollow hula hoop and they're like trying to get the double dragon powers to work, and the guy's like swinging it, trying to like get them to think it's working, and then like I don't know. That's the only scene that I kind of remember about like how dumb and cheesy the movie was. Like it was so cheesy, it was bad, but it was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen it or heard about it. Sorry. That was.
That's right.
That was 2 head shakes. Oh,
you're too young. That's right. That's fair.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I mean, it was a movie that it was around the Super Mario Brothers time. Is around when they were like throwing a lot of money to make good video gaming, like try to make good video gaming movies. Yeah. And it was just one of the video games that had been out there for a while. Just like Dash was saying, you get a roll of quarters, you go to a pizzeria, and you order your pizza, and then 2 hours later you're still hanging out in the pizzeria playing those side scrollers. So
first time I ever played Super Mario Brothers, that's what it was, a pizzeria. Yeah,
nice.
I was in California.
Well, Dash, why don't you enter the dragon with your number?
Well, speaking of, I have to do this right. California. Anybody get that reference yet? No, we're talking about video games. Did I say the word California? All right. So this movie for my number 4 follows Fred Savage from the Wonder Years. He breaks his little brother out of a mental institution, and the pair run off to California together. And they meet a girl there along the way, and they discover that their little brother Jimmy is a master at video games, and they all run together to battle at Video Armageddon for a chance to win $50,000. All while they try to elude a bounty hunter that has been hired to track them down. Not only that, This movie was the introduction of the Power Glove. The Power Glove. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. The best line in the whole freaking movie. This is Fred Savage. This is The Wizard. This is probably the oldest movie on my list here. If you've never seen The Wizard, I highly recommend it. It's not a great movie, but there are so many great things about this movie. This was Nintendo in a ball, pretty much, with a story, you know?
Yeah.
This was the beginning of tournaments. Again, like I said, the introduction of the Power Glove, that scene at that bus stop where he's just like, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
I have a total different recollection of the movie where they're in the casino and they're trying to get away from the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And the little girl just screams, I rewatched that scene so many times just because it was so funny.
Oh
I remember sitting down by the VCR player just
touch my breast.
He touched my breast. And then I was like, kid, you're in a
So
casino. How did you get in a
funny.
casino?
Were they
my God.
Were they in a casino?
I think it was. I could have swore it was.
Or like Universal. I don't remember. That's the only part I remember. Yeah, maybe they were in Vegas on the way to LA. Because I want to say the tournament itself probably was like something like Universal, whatever. Because this was like, I want to say Fred Savage was fresh off a Princess Bride, probably Wonder Years. So, God, it's such an iconic movie. That's my number 4, The Wizard. Tiff,
I have
number 4.
Okay, so I have one. It to be fair, it goes back and forth. It's very relatable. I believe it does cover fully, like, because it's like a tutorial walkthrough playthrough. It's more of a first person, no co-op, so nothing. I got into it recently and I went on a bender for a solid month. I got pretty far. I met Jesus. He was awesome. I picked his character out of everybody. The long hair rescued me. Didn't know if he was a bad guy or good guy yet. Just like the real thing. But yeah, I did start the series with my family. You know, I hope y'all did too. We sat down, we'd eat popcorn. My mom would actually do a whole cookout where she'd make like spaghetti into like guts and like all that stuff. So I stopped watching it when Glenn died, and then I restarted it. So The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites just because it's a series that I'm fully invested in. I have stopped, I believe, at season 10, just because like we moved and then like stuff happened. But I want to know where Rick went. That's probably like the number one question I have, and I don't believe they even get into it. I did get really emotional when Carl died because it's like we watched him grow up, and then like, you know, at the very end, it broke my heart. So I love what they did with the series, and then they have so many different playthroughs of The Walking Dead in general that it's really something that you want to start and just see where you go. My favorite thing is just because it's like a book, right? I love books. I can read anything as long as it's kind of fictional. History, not really my thing. I'm more of the fantasy kind of world. So knowing that the book, I used to read it when I was a kid, you'd go to the library and you'd read a book, and then it would tell you, if you want to go right, go to page 87. If you want to go to left, go back to page 5. And you're already at page 35, right? So you have to make a whole nother decision. It's the same thing with this game. It's one of my favorite things of choosing a life decision and not knowing if you're going to, you know, do the right thing or not. And then you get to restart and retry. So I love it.
The Walking Dead, the Telltale games are always fun. They did that with Borderlands as well too, for a little intermittent story, and I thought it was great. Telltale does a lot of good video games.
Well, they used to, at least.
Yeah,
that was one of the things when Telltale went out of business. I was like, oh, no more Walking Dead games.
I mean, they should have kept it alive just for that. They did an amazing job with that. It was very simple animation. Everything was just very fluid and solid and nice.
Yep.
I didn't even know they stopped. I'm like over here, like just shocked. I was like,
yeah,
man, I just started getting into all of this. Like,
I want to say they did like 3 or 4 of the Telltale games, and it was like, boom, business went out. You know, company went out of business.
Yeah, it just stopped. They weren't. They were. I think it was because they were too cheaply priced. You know what I mean? Like they were really good for their value, but they were just too cheap. I mean, like the whole Patton Oswalt Minecraft series was only like $10 or something crazy like that. It was like 6-7 hours worth of content. So
Oh wow.
I wish they would have gotten sold to somebody, and that way those employees could keep going. And I don't know, even making an online series, just digital only would have been nice. Jared, what you got? What you got for your number 4?
It's already been said, so I'm not going to cover too much of it. But the Resident Evil series with Mila Jovovich. I mean, she is just a smoke show of a bad woman. She's just absolutely bad. Just everything about her. I mean, like the movies do get very fantastical, I guess is the word that I'm trying to look for there. But I mean, all in all, like it's kind of cool to see the direction somebody takes when they have a movie that is loosely based on something that's loosely based on something else. And they just kind of go, yeah, let's go into town. Like it's super cool. And I just like them all. I mean, Mila Jovovich, she's actually going to reappear in a minute here for me again. So for those of you who might know what's going on there, but yeah, she's great in every movie I see her in. So,
yep. I can't wait to see her. Like I'm hoping her daughter is going to be just as good, if not better than her. I mean, it's really crazy. Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich have this, daughter, and she was already in Black Widow. So I mean,
yeah,
be interesting to see where her careers are going to go. Well, my number 3 has already been said as well. Shaka. But this one comes to us from 2018. This is Alicia Vikander in Tomb Raider. I love Alicia Vikander so much. She's so gorgeous. I love the storyline. I like Tomb Raider. The reboot in the games, I love so much. Games, I 100%ed the first 2 games. I have not gotten to number 3 yet. But I loved so much how, I mean, again, especially if you've played the first of the Tomb Raider, the definitive edition, there's so much from parachuting through the trees and everything. It's stuff like that. That's it. Like, it's in the movie. And it's like, it's that Leonardo DiCaprio meme come to life where it's like, oh, yeah. I love this movie. Walter Goggins. I mean, I'm a big Sons of Anarchy fan. He's just so awesome. And him as the bad guy was kind of corny and campy. But I thought he did a great job. Alicia Vikander, I cannot wait to see her again. Returning as Laura Croft. And I'm hoping that they go on with the second game as that one. But I think the one thing that I loved more than anything about this was actually seeing her become the Tomb Raider in the movie. Like, literally, there's a tomb right there, like, and she's taking the top of it off, and I'm like, oh my god, she just became a Tomb Raider, literally.
Well, like the reason why I like the game is it was one of the first games with quick action things where it's like press X now, and it was one of the first games that I ever played like that because my ex-girlfriend rented the game to play by herself, but it was one of the more modern Tomb Raider games. It wasn't the old school one, and so I ended up playing through it a lot. And I liked how she was becoming Lara Croft and the Tomb Raider. And it wasn't just, it wasn't, no offense to Angelina Jolie and you, Tiffany, but it wasn't just, we have an established badass who's just running through everything. We are watching her become the Lara Croft that we know and that we love. And it'd be nice to see her continue on.
Yeah. Well, I know for a minute there was like, we're not gonna do a sequel to, the reboot here movie. And there was a lot of backlash. They were like, no, like, this is like a strong female character that's not over-sexualized like a lot of movies and video games can be, especially Lara Croft. That I mean, everything from the fox hunt in the beginning to where it's like she stepped up and she needed the money, even though she really didn't need the money. We didn't, if you don't know the story of her family and everything, it was, I don't know. Everything about this movie is so good. And then what's her name? Kristen Scott Thomas. I mean, you see that twist at the end to where you're like, oh no. Like,
Bananas.
they're in the company. Like, oh, it was so good. And then what's his name from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz is the pawn shop guy. And even the post credit scene when she comes out with the two guns, it's like, oh yeah. Like, I don't know. I like the climbing tool. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here because I love the game so much. All the wolves scared the crap out of me. Especially that was a game that I like to play with the lights off. I felt like I could see better, and it almost kind of puts you in the shoes of Laura, to where like when you got that bow and arrow and you're having to sneak around, those wolves come around, and you hit. Oh, so good. And then everything with the statues at the end when the wind coming and shutting and moving you. Oh, it's just so good. Games are so good. All right, that's my number 3, Tomb Raider.
All right, I think you like hyped it up enough where like I have to watch the new movie.
Good, so good.
I didn't realize it went like, to be honest, like I saw this when I was a kid. My dad's just been obsessed with it, so like I only know her one way, right? So like hearing that she portrays a whole different thing, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I just find Angelina Jolie to be hot. All right, so yeah, I do have. Funny enough, I have Resident Evil 2. As soon as you started saying it, I was like, all right, here we go again. I was hoping that Dash would come in clutch with the Resident Evil right there, but I know he said his earlier.
Yeah.
So I did deep dive into this one just because I did play the video games, and then of course I did actually watch the movies. It is something that I did like. I didn't get fully into the video game, but I did do a little playthroughs. And then one big thing was I found out when I was looking it up that it was known in Japan as Biohazard. And I don't know if, yeah. And that, when I was reading that, I was like, I don't know if that's right because I remember Biohazard being a game. So, but I thought was really cool is I guess over there it's different. And the team that made it, that created the video games behind it was known as Team, nope. That was for another one. I gotta wait for that one. That was wrong. So my biggest thing, obviously, is not just Mila being inside there, but Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah. I fell in love with her from Fast and Furious. So like when I saw her in here, I was like, oh my God, it's a favorite. Do you know her name, Jared? Are you doing this because like the name like Miss like
Dash, you want to inform her about the Fast and Furious series?
They're the greatest things in the world. What is a problem?
Oh no, Jared.
She gives one of the best lines too in Fast and Furious. In the very first one, she's like, "I smell skanks." Love that line.
I love her.
They get better and better every time. Oh my God.
Dude, and she's such a badass. Like, everything that she plays in.
Michelle Rodriguez in SWAT is like, that is my stuff. Like her and what's his name? The dude who plays Clint Barton, Jeremy Renner. It's just awesome. Anyways, keep going. Sorry.
I don't know names too much. No, it's okay. Yeah. So this one, I mean, one big thing is just the corporation. You know, the whole umbrella. I love that. I believe like it was like a huge thing when it started coming out where you'd see it on people's like vehicles, and then of course the quarantine. I love that. Though what they did, you were right. Like the dogs, like the graphics behind it, you don't normally see that from like TV shows or series right before they started really remaking stuff. When it first came out, it was one of the biggest things where like the double-headed split dog, the way that their mouths would open, like it would scare me. I remember watching this inside theaters. I am all caught up other than 2020, and then I heard they are making a new one right now, so I have to dive into that. COVID was just a big thing, so I think a lot of us missed out on a lot of movies that came out, but that one would I can just say that we will own the collection. That is a movie that we can sit down and watch 24/7.
Yeah. I think the new ones are based on the reboot of the video game. So this one's what is it? Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Where I live here in Durham, we actually have it is a truck. It's a pickup truck. It is a white pickup truck that says Umbrella Corporation on the side, and it's got blood like smeared on the front of it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What about you, Jared?
So this is a game that I actually haven't played.
Okay.
That I picked. It's funny. It's not up my alley. But Mila Jovovich is in this in 2020. It is a very different spin on the game Monster Hunter, and the movie is actually named Monster Hunter as well too. It's basically Mia being Mila Jovovich. She meets a bunch of interesting characters. She meets somebody who doesn't speak the same language as her. She travels to a different rift in a different country, a different plane, and then the monster starts spilling on over into the other world, which is kind of interesting. And she kind of becomes a monster hunter with a couple other people, and it's an interesting way to tell a story. Where it's kind of like half there, half not, and you're just kind of halfway on the introduction. So it's pretty interesting how they did Monster Hunter. I wasn't a big fan of the military aspect of it. Like, I thought it was kind of silly and stupid how they tried to like play into it and pander a little bit. But I think it's kind of a cool way that they did it, because it's like, what would we do as Americans if the monsters did spill into our realm? We'd sit out there with a minigun just going, right at it. So it was kind of cool to see that aspect of it just right up front, and then see, oh, we have to use these specialized weapons made from the monsters to kill the monsters. So Monster Hunters 2020. What, did you not see it, or?
I didn't.
I thought I saw it because I saw the movie Monster Hunter, and I thought it was the same thing, but I think I watched something different, because yours sounds so much better than what I was thinking.
When I first met you, Tiffany.
Oh no.
Your respect was here, and now it's like just
Jared. That's so. I
do
can see the
call
same
it rude.
thing.
That's fun. Okay. What do they say? Shots fired is what the kid.
Oh my
so
god.
Low.
What the
Yeah, you don't even know
That what
Henry.
you just said?
Cavill.
You know what? If you don't get me with your honorable moment, we're just not friends anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. Dash, she's not invited back to the next episode. You know what? I don't even want to hear the rest of her. Send her on out.
Get out.
But Dash, take us away to your number dose.
My number 2 and my number 1 are not based on actual video games at all.
Then they can't be on the list.
Yeah, Dash, what the heck?
No, they are based around a video game, but they are not based on a real video game whatsoever. My number 2 centers around a death row inmate named Cable. He is played by Gerard Butler, and he battles other prisoners in a violent online game called Slayers, to where you win 30 matches, you are set free. This movie also stars Terry Crews, Michael C. Hall from Dexter, Kira Sedgwick from The Closer, a.k.a. Mrs. Kevin Bacon, and Luda. This is Gamer. I freaking love this freaking game. This movie. Such a fun game. God, did it again. I love this movie. And I love this movie for a couple different reasons. One, I think this is where I fell in love with Gerard Butler, only because I still, to this day, keep forgetting that he was in 300.
I know. He was so different in 300, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just a piece of man meat, though.
But I love this movie for one main reason, and this is the Sammy Davis Jr. dance, sing along dance that Michael C. Hall does while he has Gerard Butler in captivity. It's just so much fun. Have we seen this movie? Yes. Please.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen.
I've heard about it, and then
So
I've heard like little things, but I haven't like officially seen it. So,
highly
well, like on a 1 out of 10, what do you got to rate it?
At 1 out of 10, this movie is an 8 or a 9 for me.
Did you say a 4?
3.
Don't listen to him.
Oh.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
He doesn't know people. He knows birds.
I know Henry freaking Cavill.
cats.
Okay. What
yeah, no, it's a I want to say it's a fun movie, yes. But at the time, like, it's not, Gerard Butler doesn't control himself. This kid controls him. Like, this kid is playing him as a real person. So as long as like Gerard Butler plays his own avatar, but in real life. Yeah. And it's kind of in the same feel as Death Race. It feels a lot like that, to where if you win X amount, you're set free, kind of a thing. But the way they did it with the technology aspect was really kind of genius. And I thought Ludacris, this was like his first really big role, to where he, it wasn't just like, oh, there's Ludacris on TV, like he was in Too Fast, Too Furious. This was, he has a lot of dialogue. He is a main person in this film. He did great. I mean, and then he went on to, do more Fast and the Furious movies, to where he has more input. So yeah, highly recommend you watch it, especially if you like gaming stuff. Don't listen to, just go watch it. It's called Gamer. That is my number 2.
Here.
Huh?
I'm over here. You're pointing into the void.
It's more of the corner.
What I'm talking about.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Tiff, what is your number 2?
All right, so this is where I messed up earlier. So this one is known as Team Silent. It had a whole collection of people behind. I hope you know what I'm talking about. So it was first released in 1999. I believe a lot of my stuff was actually back in the 90s. Like whenever it was being portrayed, and then I just saw the movies, and that's how I got into the video games, to be honest. But it's just a survival horror game, right? So I love horror. That's the one thing. If you're gonna like recommend something to me, it has to be bloody, gore, horror, anything like that. That's my favorite thing. So there are 4 of them, and they are actually created by that team, the Team Silent. It was first released in 2006. So yeah, Silent Hill, one of my very favorites, starring Cheryl. So I know she gets lost, and you have to go through so many different challenges. Actually, inside the game, you have a flashlight. So I feel like you may like it, Dash, because of Laura Craft. So like feeling involved with it, like dark room, flashlight. They only give you certain things that you can use to defend yourself. It's not like constant. So, I mean, there's only 2 movies, like when she's very small and then when she's older, but the games seem to really be going on, and they're actually talking about making another one right now. It's already in the works.
I love Silent Hill so much.
I thought that was so cool.
2 very good movies. Very, very good movies.
Yes.
Yep. I like games that put you in, excuse my French, put you in the shit. Like it does. Like you feel encompassed. Not just, oh, I'm looking at my screen, and I'm playing a game. You feel it. Silent Hill to me has that Alan Wake kind of feel to it, to where you're hearing things all around you. It's I've mentioned this before. Hellblade is exactly like this too, to where it's like you hear the voices, in your headphones as you're playing and stuff, and
I love it.
Just
it's
immerses
dreadful.
Yeah, I love it. Great pick.
Thank you.
Well, I know Dash really, really likes these movies, and I really, really liked this video game. It was actually Deadpool 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a very small Deadpool game
it.
back in 2013, and then I think it was 2016. We were all blessed with his beautiful face in the video game, and he got to do the superhero landings, and just I really liked it. I knew you were thinking I'd go Fast and Furious, and I couldn't believe that they actually made a movie called Fast and the Furious, but I didn't watch it. I never saw it. I didn't even know it existed until like 2 hours ago, to be honest with you, as I was refining my picks. What?
Fast and the Furious was awesome.
I know. Yeah, they made a movie called Fast and the Furious, but yeah, right. It's Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds. It's just Deadpool is Deadpool, and like it's so cool because I got to play the video game after I saw the first movie come out, and so it was really kind of cool to see, oh, this is literally Deadpool. And then I had the comics as well too, and it's just like this is 100% spot on Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds. And fun fact, that's actually how I'm going to spend my Valentine's Day. I'm going to watch the love story that is Deadpool.
Oh, I love that.
And Lady Death, who I really cannot wait to see turn into Lady Death. So
I was gonna ask the video game. I believe I played that before. Does it have Lady Death in it where like he's like making those like sarcastic comments to her? Because I remember something about it. It wasn't a comic, it was a video game form, and it was explained to me. This is before I ever knew about Deadpool, before it became a movie, and that's how I found out like this
mhm.
sarcastic man that was just like a shrivel is in love with death, and somebody fed it to me as like a love story. And
Yeah.
that's how I kind of fell in love with it. So I didn't know if it was like the same game or if we ended up like if I was in another universe and I'm just coming up with like a dream or something.
No, he is infatuated with Death herself. Thanos is actually trying to court Death herself, but she constantly chooses Deadpool over him. It's a weird thing. It's kind of a cross-platform, but it's been forever since I
Oh
played the game. So
wow.
yeah,
Oh, you're gonna have to text me that one because that one's kind of cool. I
yeah.
like to I'd like to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, speaking of rabbit holes, Dash, let's hear your honorable mentions, good sir.
1, 2, 3. Only four. Only four.
Okay.
I had a fifth one and I forgot what it was. So yeah, my honorable mentions. Detective Pikachu was on my list. Love me some Ryan Reynolds. Hitman was also on my list. I took it way back to Tron, the original, not that blasphemous legacy of a sequel. It wasn't that bad. Whatever. But my real honorable mention was mentioned earlier by myself around my number 9 spot. This is the 80s television show, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Yeah, I loved this freaking show. This was helmed with the ever popular, in my opinion at least, a cappella group named Rockapella. That was the one thing that I remember more than anything, was they had the coolest name, Rockapella. And they were not very rock at all. But that was an amazing theme song. That's my honorable mention. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Tiff, what is your honorable mention?
Okay. So, my honorable mention was not made into a video game, but has a video game inside of it. So I thought it's gonna be like my little sneak attack for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this one is a favorite. So yes, it's not a real game. Apparently, it's made after one, and I don't want to be wrong on this one because I tried doing like extensive research into it actually.
Okay.
So it was either modeled before or after the game came out. But anyway, it's about a group of people that get trapped inside of a game and they have to defeat this evil being inside the real world. Another childhood favorite. Maybe it's why I love it so much. It introduced me to my love of horror and gaming all in the same place. So definitely a must watch. So it was called Stay Alive. Does anybody remember that? Stay Alive?
I was thinking she was going to go Jumanji as well.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too.
No, Stay Alive.
I was getting ready to write it, and you said something, and I was like, "Well, wait a second. That's not Jumanji."
Jumanji does not have like a horror. Like this one's like where you're inside of a game, right? And the game's playing by itself most of the time. So if you can't like save yourself inside there, that deity is just getting you. And the only way to kind of repel her is by like roses. And it's like they actually take like in the real life. If you die in the game, you die in the real life, and it kills you by how it die, like how you die inside the game. It was made back in like 2006, I want to say. I could be completely wrong, but I watch it just about once a year around Halloween time next to 13th Ghost. You know, another favorite.
I love that freaking movie.
Right?
They're so good in it.
Yes. Okay. So if you like that one, you're going to like this one then.
Because they're interesting. I like it. It sounds like it has a Freddy kind of feel to it, like how you die. Kind of, well, at least what was the one where he went into the video game kind of a thing? Yeah.
Dead by Daylight?
No. There was one of the Freddy movies that he went into, like the video game in the movie. And
oh
like
yeah,
one of the
main Friday.
See that
one? One of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Yeah, but it sounds fun. I literally, both me and Jared on the same page. Literally thought you were gonna say Jumanji, and I was like, she said horror. I was like, no, that's not horror at all. Are you comfortable? Gonna sit right in front of my screen.
Well, get comfortable because I'm about to talk to my honorable mention. I actually have two this week. My first honorable mention is actually Boss Level. The reason why I say boss level is just because it's like an all-encompassing version of every single video game there's out there ever. Like every video game trope, it was pretty interesting. But the real honorable mention is the Prince of Persia movie, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time from 2010. Jake Gyllenhaal is just a hunk of man meat. I love this man. I love the story that it tells. I love the way that I like how they kind of took like a 2D kind of Crash Bandicoot-ish kind of game, from the original Prince of Persia and turned it into an actual movie with a little bit of a story and just how they used the Sands of Time in reality. And I just thought overall in general, it was a great movie. It stood out to me.
Yeah.
So, if I could go back in time and rewind it and rewatch it for the first time, I would most definitely do that.
You don't have to go back. I mean, you can own it. And watch.
Well, no, but the nostalgia,
like
remember
feeling.
that first time? Yeah, that first time you watch something and get that feeling. But speaking of the first time,
great.
Feels like the first time. My number one pick has been a previous pick. If I'm not mistaken, this was in my top 10 of 2021.
Okay.
It's all about a story of a man trying to become the hero and get the girl, and then finding out you're an NPC. This is Ryan Reynolds. This is Free Guy. I love this movie so much. It's so much fun.
My God. I just watched that. It's so good. It's so good.
Like, I had high hopes for it. And again, if you watch the show, if you at least watch the Monday show, you see my track record here with these movies we've been watching, whether it be Matrix Resurrections or Eternals or whatever, to where it's just like every movie I'm just not liking. I went into Free Guy going, okay, it's Ryan Reynolds. I'm not going to get overhyped for this. Okay. I myself am not a big fan of Deadpool 1. I freaking love Deadpool 2, though. I think we've talked about it to where it's like, I thought the first one, the comedy was trying to be too forced. I didn't feel it. The second one felt more natural. Anyways, I went into this and I was like, okay, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Ryan Reynolds, I can go either way with him. It felt so magical, like I'm in a video game, and like everything about it, and like what's his name, Taika Waititi, like, is so good. And it's so funny, this is the reconnection again of Green Lantern, between the two. Joe Carey from Stranger Things, of course. I'm a big Stranger Things fan. Lil Ray was awesome, but Jodie Comer, who played the female lead in this, playing dual roles, was so freaking good. As the video game character versus her real life persona, the split definition between the two characters was she did such an amazing job. But Ryan Reynolds, especially Ryan Reynolds versus the Dude, is one of my absolute favorite scenes. All the Easter eggs we get, from the Captain America shield to the lightsaber to the Hulk fist to Fortnite, everything about it is just so much fun, especially that scene. So that is my number one pick, Free Guy. If you have not seen it, highly recommend you watch it. Tiff, take us to your number one pick.
I'm a little jealous that I didn't put that in my honorable mentions because it was really good. That movie had me like where I was like, okay, that's definitely going to be on Vudu. That one is a must watch. So mine is another horror, right? It is something that I have played over and over again, and I would love to start it up again, but I do get bored when people start trolling. I like the real adventure with fun with friends, so maybe something that we can start again. But this one, it doesn't matter if it's Halloween or not. I'm playing this game. So I think we could all agree that Jason Voorhees is like the guy out there. I think he has amazing movies. To be fair, right? My first ever movie that I watched, I was 12 years old. My parents were very strict. They let me watch Freddy versus Jason with them. And after that, I fell in love with horror. And Jason, just because I do love Freddy, don't get me wrong, his backstory, but his movies, they've changed it up so much. It's just not my thing anymore. Jason, on the other hand, not only is the video game just like the movie, you either have to go to his mom's house, find it, and then call on him so that he can go back to the underworld, or you just die. I mean, you can be saved, don't get me wrong, but I will tell you, like, they have like 8 different versions of him, right? So if he teleports and he's next to me, I'm already screaming. I'm not gonna lie, he's next to me. There's no getting away. You get whatever you can to like fight him off, but I can definitely say when you're having fun with friends, you're not really thinking, you're thinking, oh, get away, but you're laughing so much that it's, it's pointless. So great movie. I love them all. My husband's favorite is Jason X when he goes to the stupid moon. I hate that one. And definitely my number one, just because it's something I can pick up any day, play or watch.
Okay.
Nice.
What about you, Jared? What's your number one?
So we're going to finish this off on probably what is the most OG video game of all OGs. Dash, do you know what I'm talking about? The OG video game that was probably what?
You're going to say Pixels, aren't you?
No, I'm not going to say Pixels. I'm actually going to say Super Mario Brothers from 1993. The OG. I remember I got a little excited one time while I was watching the movie, and the guys with the little heads, they actually scared the living devil out of me. Me and my ex-girlfriend, we had to stop the movie. I just Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo or whatever
Leguizamo.
I don't know, just like it was the original video game movie that I saw that I thought worked very, very well, where they translated it from the 2D side scroller literally to a movie. I think a lot of people hate on it. A lot of people think it was one of the worst movies ever.
I don't want to say ever. I mean, it's a bad movie, but I 100% agree with you. It's a number one pick.
Yeah, 100%.
It is a classic. Dennis Hopper as Bowser is like, you look nothing like it, but that's this is like his human form or whatever and stuff, whatever. It's Dennis freaking Hopper. It's Bob Hoskins, and
Yoshi. I just everything about the movie just. It's like I would say I'd have to put it on par with A Clockwork Orange, or just a lot of those cult classic movies that have that niche following that you like, that just everyone loves. You know what I mean?
I know where you were going with that.
I'm sorry.
I don't remember that scene in there.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's a more of a hit now than it was before.
Yes.
So
stupid.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. Harsh words there, Tiff.
I'm sorry. Rocky Horror Picture Show, that's like my shit. Like, I have that on DVD. I have it on Vudu. I have it everywhere because it's the one thing that if you meet me and you're around me, we're going to watch it if you haven't seen it so that you can understand what I like. Because it's like horror. You got so much stuff in it, musicals, like it's all over. And to be fair, Tim Curry.
Curry, yeah.
You can't tell me anything different.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
But yeah, no, you talked about Rocky Horror, so I was like, all right, anyways, let's pick it back up.
So after a small little tangent that nobody will ever see, I have been Jared. I am your number one gamer with Level Up. That has been
Mr. Dash.
And that is the guest show.
Tiff. The guest show. Thank you.
The guest on the show. Oh, man. My brain hurts. It is a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It is 100% a Friday. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready for it.
I am. I'm ready too. Tomorrow, Royal Rumble.
I know. Tomorrow. It's going to be great.
Excited. I was like, it is Thursday, sir.
It is Friday. It is Friday, Tiff. So remember, there are a bunch of buttons you got to hit to like, subscribe. We're on all social media, SNH Pod. We are everywhere. Go ahead and hit us up. Leave a comment down below with your top 10, and we'll see how much we love it or hate it. I'm sure one of us will most likely comment on it. We got a guest. We got the original. We've got Level Up. Again, my name has been Jared. That's been
Mr. Dash.
And that's
Tiff.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace.
cut the check.